Hello gamers, it's Swag here and welcome to another video game review. This is actually one of my most requested video game reviews ever. And considering that I reviewed both Raiden 3 and Raiden Fighters Aces, I'm not surprised. Now this won't be as long of a review as the other ones, as you guys pretty much know my feeling on the series, but I do want to weigh in, give my 2 cents, and let you guys know if I think this game's worth buying, so let's get to it. Okay, so taking a quick look at the menu here, we have the 360 mode and arcade mode. The difference is that the 360 mode has 2 extra levels for a total of 7. We also have score attack mode and boss rush mode, which are pretty self-explanatory if you played Raiden Fighters Aces. A couple of extras like options, gallery, stuff like that, but let's go ahead and jump into the core gameplay on the 360 mode. Alright, now the stages are structured in 1- through 7, so 1-1 through 1-7. You also have to play them again as 2-1 through 2-7. You can set the difficulty to practice through, I believe, very hard. And also we have a choice here between the proton laser and the plasma laser. Now the plasma laser is like the classic laser that locks onto an enemy. The proton laser is almost kind of like the green laser in Raiden 3, except there is 3 of them, so it makes it much better right off the bat. Okay, so upon starting the game, it definitely resembles a lot more of Raiden 3. We have the 3-way shot that you start off with, and we have the moving background, but again, the screen is fixed and we cannot move side to side. I was about to get really pissed at this until I realized that as soon as we stop moving fast, all of a sudden we can now move from side to side again. Oh, look at that, guys. The developers throw us a little curveball, almost as if saying, yeah, we know that we made a mistake in Raiden 3 with not letting you move from side to side, and we psyched you out, but we gave you what you wanted in the end. So, making us sweat a little bit, but it turns out for the best. I'm also liking the theme music for the first stage better than Raiden 3 as well. As you guys notice, I'm probably going to be comparing this game to Raiden 3 a lot. The controls just kind of feel better in this game. I don't know really how to describe it, but this game just feels like Raiden 1 and 2 a lot more than Raiden 3 did. It is really hard to kind of put my finger on just one aspect of it, but this game just feels right. Now moving up to the first boss, we are actually seeing something different than we saw in Raiden 1 through 3 slightly, in that we start off with usually 2 bosses that are identical to each other. However, this one is actually just 1 boss, but still kind of has that same feel that the first bosses did from Raiden 1 and 2. Now the bomb aspect, again, is something I don't really care for, where it really just hits everything on the screen, but man, check out that explosion from the boss battle. Big explosions are a hallmark that every shmup needs to have. Now the point system in this game rates you on many different things, such as how many enemies you destroyed in the level, the flash point, which is how fast you destroyed them when they got on the screen, your extra lives, your extra bombs, and all that sort of thing. Now the graphics look really nice and arcadey, there's lots of flashy things always going on to capture your attention, but there's really nothing here that puts the 360's hardware to the test at all. I mean, it even advertises on the box for the game only for the 360, but there's really nothing on here that's going to impress anyone in the graphics department. Again, this is a game that's going to appeal to hardcore old school shmup fans. So even though there are a few different weapons to choose from in the game, I still find myself using the classic Vulcan weapon. I don't know, just call me old-fashioned, I guess. It just seems that the Vulcan with the nuclear missiles seems to work best for just about any situation. Very few situations where I prefer using either of the other lasers. Now, much in the fashion of Raiden Fighters Aces, you can mess with the display and turn it to many different degrees and angles. You can adjust the screen size, so that way you can zoom in really far if you want. I don't know why you'd want to cut off so many things on the screen, but you can even turn your TV on its side and see it lengthways and all that. So lots of customizable options as far as viewing the game. Now, because there are essentially only 7 levels in the game, you're going to need to rely on the achievements for the replay value of the game. Although some of them are just brain-bustingly difficult, and I don't understand how anyone could possibly get them. For example, there is one to beat the game without using any continues on the hardest difficulty setting. I haven't seen anybody do it even on normal yet. I don't even know how this is possible. Now, I got the limited edition version of the game, which includes a soundtrack. There's also an ultimate edition, which also includes an art book. The limited edition was $40, and to me, I just don't get how they can charge that much. This game shouldn't have even been on a disc. Raiden 4 should have been an Xbox Live download for 1,200 points. In fact, I think they had to include the soundtrack just as an excuse to make it on a disc. I don't know if Microsoft will let them do it otherwise, because there really just isn't that much content here. It's a fun game to be sure, but on a disc? No way. I mean, let's just do some simple math. Raiden Fighters Aces was a collection of 3 games and was only $20. Raiden 4 is 1 game and it's $40. Granted, you get the soundtrack, but come on, there is no way that it deserved to be even more than $20. Again, should have been a download only. Now, don't get me wrong, Raiden 4 is a shooter done right. It took a lot of the mistakes that Raiden 3 made and it corrected them for the better. But the bottom line is that I can't recommend a game that costs $40 for such little content. This would be a great rental. I would definitely suggest that you guys rent this game. You'll probably have a couple of really fun hours with it. But unless you are just a really hardcore shmup fan that's willing to play these levels over and over and over again to get the achievements, it's not worth the purchase. Unless, of course, you really, really want the soundtrack. Had it not been so expensive, I could have given it a higher score, but as it stands, Raiden 4 for the Xbox 360 gets a 7 out of 10.